Hey, hey, hey. Hope I got enough light. How are you? How are you? Good morning, Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome this morning to Success is an Inside Job. How is everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Success is really an inside job. I don't care how much money we think that we have. Yes, money does pay the bills. Yes, money is a defense, right? But money cannot buy innately the inside success that we're looking for. So today I'm going to set the stage for us. And I want to read something. Success is not just about making money and closing deals because I'm in the real estate industry. And for those of you who think that, then that's your equation for success. But I want to dig deeper and dive deeper into probably layers of success that you have not tapped into. You know what? It's about defining the success in this season that we are after. You know, our circumstances is not what defines us. It's our thought pattern, it's our action, and it's our execution. I've always said for the realm of success, there are three types of people: those who have been born with a silver spoon, a gold spoon, or a plastic spoon or a fork. And in some cases, no spoon. So let's walk through these people. You may find yourself as one of them or a combination of all three. Silver spoon. This is someone who has been born maybe into privilege, got a little something going for you, but not a whole lot of extreme wealth as we know it, money, right? And then there's the gold spoon. So the gold spoon successful people, they were absolutely born with significant wealth. Oh my God, they are just dripping. They actually just making it rain. They throwing money away, right? They're filthy rich as we know it in terms of wealth. And then there are the plastic spoon or the plastic fork type of people. So these are successful people who have been born to maybe in families that had fewer resources, but they have something to grow with. They have grit, Grit. Can you type that in for me? They have grit. Success for all of them, regardless of the tableware that have been presented to them in life. It is an inside job. I'm Roz Booker, the Roz Booker. I am a real estate professional. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm not a knife. Well, I am pretty sharp. I'll cut you. No, I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a nana. I'm a entrepreneur. Have about 45, and I'm telling my age now, years of just business and community experience. So I've been around, seen a lot, and I have waded through the ebbs and flow of life. So my one word, what keeps me going, what gets me up out of the bed in the morning, and I want you to get your one word on your lips. So I want you to type it into the comments. But my one word that I am pursuing this year is legacy. Why? Because legacy encompasses family, it encompasses financial wealth, it encompasses a legacy of good health, right? It encompasses community. So when I talk about legacy, I want to just have you consider something. What do you want to be known for during your dash? Your dash is what they're going to put on your tombstone. You're going to have a born date and you're going to have an end date. If you have a tombstone, right, they'll have a born date and an end date, and in the middle is the dash. The dash is what you did while you were here. right? Well, one of the things that gets me up in the morning and excited about going on my day is my family, right? My family is a legacy to me. My family is an inheritance. I have a wonderful husband. Yes, I am married of almost 28 years. We'll be celebrating 28 years this year. Yay! Can't wait. Can't wait to get on that plane and go to Spain. That rhymed. I got two wonderful daughters. We have two wonderful sons. So we have a family of four in terms of our children. And we have two wonderful grandchildren. One just graduated high school with a degree, I know, an associate's degree, and she's off to college. And we have a rising sophomore who just started. And we are just so amazed by their growth, and we're creating legacy for them. So, when we talk about accountability, we have to enlist the help of someone, because the truth is, if we could really do it bigger, better, go further, go longer, and go harder by ourselves, you would see us getting up as we are sitting down or walking behind ourselves and actually pushing ourselves. Keep that mental picture in your head. How easy or impossible is that to do? We need help. There should be someone always pushing us. There should be someone always lifting us as we climb. And for the sake of just a little bit of humor here, I have an 80-pound fur babe. His name is Jakar. You've probably seen him here on this channel. Well, he's my accountability partner. I'm accountable to him. He's accountable to me, right? He's like, okay, you feed me and you have to walk me. And I said, okay, that's a deal. I'll let you sleep here. I'll let you eat here. And guess what? In exchange, I need exercise. So, who do you think walks who in the morning? He loves outside and he commands and demands to go outside. However, I understand that I need to get up and move these limbs and get the blood flowing and the endorphins flowing. So we got a deal. I need you to say, I need accountability partners. We cannot grow to the next level of success without accountability partners. We need someone in our life that can see what we've missed. Mhm. We need people that are either a mentor, they are an advisor, or they are a sponsor. A mentor is someone like myself. I mentor, I coach. They can give you a plan and help dig out and go for the gold inside of you, right? Right. And then there's an advisor. This is someone who may not necessarily be in your inner circle, but they're a person of influence, they're a person of impact. They can open doors for you. And then you have a sponsor, someone who can go into rooms that has the impact and the influence, and they can speak for you. They can speak for you. One thing about success is we have to break the mold. When we talk about molds, the most simplest form that I could put it in is a cookie cutter. A cookie cutter is a mold that has an element that says that, look, when I press down and shake a little bit, you're going to be formed in the shape for which I created you. So when we talk about breaking specific molds, our life circumstances, our filters, our successes, our failures can shape us in a specific position that has us cast or stuck. And I don't mean that necessarily in a negative way, because some things that have shaped our life are good. But There are some things in terms of failures, heartbreaks, missteps, choosing poorly, lack of wisdom, bankruptcy, etc., that could have shaped our life in a negative way. So we lead and live our life according to the mold that was shaped from that specific circumstance. So I want to talk to you about breaking the mold. Success being an inside job starts with the mind. I know you probably think I'm getting ready to give you these $20 million business ideas where you can go out and get rich quick. That's not what this is. Disclaimer, I'm not a financial planner, I'm not an attorney, and I'm definitely not a counselor, a licensed professional counselor. I'm just a gal from the red dirt and trees of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, that have been through a whole lot and can say after 45 years of being in industry, community, and a business owner, I had I got some secret sauce to help you. So growing up, me and my mom, we were couch surfers for most of my childhood life. And for many of you that know what that is, it's AKA homeless. We didn't have a roof of our own, but we couldn't be counted on the street because we were not living under a bridge. But we many times did not have a roof of our own. We're being raised by a single mom, no dad. We experienced the homelessness. There you could see a mold for my life was being shaped. But I had the mindset, even at 8 years old, in the dead of winter, hearing mom cry, gut wrenching cries about how am I going to feed my child, clothe my child, house my child, while we were in the garage of someone's home. I never will forget what that sounded like or felt like. And in that very moment, in my finite relationship and the comprehension that I had, I said, I'm never going to be back on this floor again. And thank God I have not been. You see, we have to stop seeing lack and start seeing opportunity, regardless of the circumstances, which could be our reality, which could be fact, wherever we find ourselves, even if it's a deplorable situation. So here's an action step for you. I need you to reframe one lack thought, one debilitative thought, and recreate that into an opportunity thought. In other words, we have to train our tongue to tell our brain a different narrative, regardless if the circumstance is deplorable. In my circumstance, even at 8 years old, was. But I changed the narrative by saying, when I get off this floor, I'll never be back here again. So that meant whatever it took. So we have to retrain our brain and tell ourselves a different narrative. So I want you to think about something. Think about something that you've been telling yourself negatively. And then I want you to turn that lack thought around. And I want you to make it positive. Just a moment. I had a wake up call. You know, overcoming mental barriers is very important to our success. Success starts with acknowledging that we do have limiting thoughts, just like we talked about. We've got to rewrite the story. Imagine this: your life is a blank canvas. You've been given the paintbrush, you've been given a journal, you've been given an ink pen, and you get to write the next chapter. Maybe the last one wasn't too good, or maybe it was a story that hasn't been fulfilled. Turn the page. Guard your thoughts, guard your mind, overhaul your belief system. Perception is our reality, whether that perception is right or wrong. Here's an action step for you. Write down one limiting belief. Write down one limiting belief. And then I want you to come up with truth. So it's similar to what we just asked you to do before in terms of taking one thought of lack and turning it into a positive. I want you to dig deeper because the only thing that's different between me and you, or you and the person that you feel is successful, is their I can and I will determination. If you are not where you want to be or need to be right now, financially, mentally, spiritually, whatever success looks like for you, it is not anyone else's fault but yours. When I say that, I mean it and it's true. So find a limiting belief, or better yet, find a reason that you've had an excuse. And then I need you to write one truth that replaces it, even if you don't feel that you're there yet. And I know some people's like, well, I'm a realist and I can't do that. I can't lie to myself. What we speak is what we become. What we see is who we become. And what we say is who we are. So we have to change the narrative and begin to speak our lives in a specific direction. So when we're talking about building financial stability, I've been a dream chaser, even in deplorable situations as a kid. I've been a dream chaser. Are you a dream chaser? I need you to put it in. I've been a dream chaser. Dream chaser. I'm having trouble saying that this morning. I don't even have my braces on anymore. But yeah, I remember in 1988, I made a journey, a visit to Texas from Oklahoma. It was just a visit. I didn't know anybody here. My first husband took me to Texas. We had a small infant, we had a toddler, and I will say this may be rather shallow to some people, but it's my dream and it's my story, and I'm gonna tell it. I started driving around the West End area. For those of you who know what the West End area is near downtown, and I'm like, wow, I had an aha moment. I had an epiphany. I saw myself, y'all, sitting at the top of one of those buildings in an executive suite in the boardroom, and I was dressed to the nine. And I'm like, I can have that. I can be that person. So I tell you what I did. After our visit here with family, his family, not mine, I didn't know anybody here. I started, now I'm telling my age, sending resumes from the newspaper. I got an interview. I kept that interview and I drove my 72 Chevy Nova. It was blue metallic on the bottom. Ooh, it was so nice. And it was white on the top. I took a half a day off at my great bank job there in Oklahoma City. I drove down. Of course, the unthinkable happened. Had a flat tire. It was a rainstorm. A stranger, thank God he did not murder me, but a stranger helped me with the flat. I ended up getting to my destination from Oklahoma City to Texas. Oh goodness, I probably was 45 minutes to an hour late. And I came in with this Angela Davis fro and I was fragile and I was tearing. And the supervisor said, calm down. Well, after we got through the interview, one thing happened. She loved my grit. Remember, I talked about that before? She loved my grit. And she said, you know what, I like you. I said, well, can I give 2 weeks? She's like, no. There's someone that is not as qualified, but they can start immediately. So here I did. I packed up and moved to Beverly. And I told my ex-husband at the time, I said, I'm going with or without you. What is the story here? Your ability to break through, your ability to learn, your ability to pivot, and your ability to move forward and adapt. That is a currency for success. So here's an action step for you. Understanding what you learn today determines what you earn tomorrow. What new skill, what new job, what new career, what new opportunity in the ecosystem of real estate, what new opportunity to build your legacy, what class can you take, what accreditation, what blueprint can you follow, what designation do you need to acquire to move just that much closer, right? I want you to think about that, and I want you to hone that class, that skill, that opportunity within the next 30 days. So we packed up, moved to Beverly, my good job in that specific career ended in about 9 months, and I got hired on in corporate America. It was a created position, and me and the manager were soaring together. She was hard but fair. Let me tell you what kind of person she was. She got me a thesaurus and a dictionary, a college thesaurus and dictionary for my birthday. She said, read this. She told me take every class that I could that was company sponsored. She told me to get into Toastmasters. So those were the elements and the skills that I was honing to put myself in a position, little did I know, for a promotion, right? A promotion where I shattered the glass ceiling. I went from being a single parent, two kids, from an hourly position to a salaried position there in corporate America. I heard Barbara Cochran say, build before you're ready, leave before you're ready, expand before you're ready. Because sometimes in our humanity, we get comfortable and we like to coast. We like to coast on comfortable. I'm going to ask you to find your comfort zone and leave it. That is the only way increased capacity happens, right? So here I am, moved from Oklahoma to Texas, one corporate job to the next one. I'm elevating, I'm shattering at glass ceilings because I'm doing the things that are out of the norm. I end up getting in a management position there, traveling the world, talking about that company's product and service. And something hit me. I was not fulfilled. And it was in that moment that I recognized that money did not equate to the success that I was after. I wanted to be the PTA mom. I wanted to be in community. I wanted to inevitably expand my footprint in the faith industry. And so I was presented with the opportunity to go into real estate. Jumped into real estate. By year 3, after leaving corporate America, had quadrupled my salary, was making a whole lot of money, quickly climbed the ladder, made 6 figures, and boom. I had to then be faced with overcoming a financial setback. Was buying and selling properties, buying and holding and leasing properties. And I was on this zealous Big Dipper. I was on this Six Flags ride that was taking me nowhere fast. Why? is because I did not have the foundation to sustain that success that I had achieved. I was not financially literate. Ended up filing bankruptcy in 2024. Nearly lost everything except the house that we lived in. Lost all the investment properties. Had a mentor, had a coach, and actually I sought her out. And she saw that I was hurting. She saw that I was stuck. She saw that I was bleeding, and I didn't have $300 an hour, and that was 20 years ago. I didn't have $300 an hour to give her. But one thing I did have was my effort and my attitude. And those are things that are currency. Those are things that we can change. I had my attitude and my effort toward digging myself out of this ditch. So, what she had me do was, first of all, assess who I was. I said, you know what? I had to go back and take a job in another corporate area. This is not who I am, not who I'm supposed to be. And she's like, well, what are you waiting on? And she also told me something that has stuck with me all these years. She said, Roz, no one is going to add value to you until you do. She said, you do a lot of things for free. And in that moment, I recognized that I had to go from free to fee, FREE to FEE. And that really tested and went against the grain of my philanthropic heart and my servant leadership. Because I just believe if you do enough good, good is going to come back to you. But one thing I was doing was stuffing, shrinking, and devaluing my own assets. If I had been financially literate, I would have stopped long enough while those checks were coming to say, you know what, I need to hone a skill. I need to diversify these assets. So, not that if but when the bottom falls out of real estate, you have something else that is bringing in funds. So, here's an action step for you. Identify two income streams beyond your primary source right now. And I really thank God for all of the people who coach and mentor and teach me now, because a teacher needs a teacher, a mentor needs a mentor. And one of my mentors recently put a twist on my thinking. So this is connecting dots from 20 years ago to now, because we're still expanding, we're still increasing capacity, we're still growing. She said, what problem can you solve? So when we're thinking about success and overcoming financial roadblocks and financially getting set up for legacy, the truth is we have to ascertain what is a problem in the world right now. What are the skill sets that you have? How have you honed those skills? And how can your skill set, right, solve a problem today? And if you can solve a problem, you can monetize that problem solving skill. So think about that. When we're talking about building legacy and purpose, we keep saying it. Wealth isn't just about money. I told you I left corporate America at the top of my game. It wasn't because I wasn't making good money, I just was not fulfilled. So when we're talking about success being an inside job, when I was put in the position to recover from bankruptcy, I did have to go back and take a job so that my family could eat. But while I was in that place, it almost felt like a prison. I began to align my skill set with my values. I'm talking about my core values in life. Community has always been a big deal for me, but community doesn't always pay you. Meaning your hobbies, the things that you eat, breathe, live, sleep, that bring you the utmost joy may not always be the things that pay you. So I had to ascertain, how could I be an answer? How could I solve a problem? And through that transition, Arbrook Realty, my own real estate company, was birthed. Out of that transition and out of that pain, our Brook Cares, my nonprofit, was birthed. I've always had the gift of administration, and my mentor was very right. She said, "You do a lot of stuff for free and you're very good at it. How can you change this where it pays you?" And at that moment, I realized I had been scared to ask. I had been scared to attach a price tag to the things that I just naturally do well, that I didn't really go to school for. I just, like Beyonce, I woke up like this. And I did. I put a price tag, someone paid, and actually, someone gave me more than I asked. So, on my road back up, I had to dig deep to find the skill sets that could answer a problem. And I found an attorney who's also a friend that realized my value. And she was willing to pay for my service. Sometimes when we walk in relationships and friendships and acquaintanceships, if people walk with us long enough and they've seen the gift, right, they may feel that we're just common people and that we don't deserve to require them to pay us. And I want you to know something: your immediate family and your peers may not be your tribe. They may not be the audience that you are after that's going to pay you to solve a problem. But because this specific person was a realist and she understood my value, she also helped me to grow in that area and be confident. So here's an action step for you. Success being an inside job, as we've said, is not always about money. As you can hear and see throughout my journey, I have had to redefine my success every juncture, every step of the way. Maybe reshaping the frame of success and asking yourself hard questions is where you start. Is it the money that you're really after? Is it the deals that you're really after? Or are you after destiny? Sometimes we can get hung up on the money, and by all means, I am not here trying to say, look, let's all take the vow of poverty. And no, 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 no. Money makes the world go round. We need more of it so that we can serve community, so that we can build legacy and leave our kids an inheritance. Yes, so we do need money, but we can't allow the money to define who we are, but rather let's define who we are and get in right alignment with purpose so that the money flows organically to us. Here's an action step for you. On a piece of paper, right where you are, you got a journal, or maybe you're computer savvy, draw one big circle. And in that circle, draw one line down the middle so you have two halves. Next, go to the middle of that circle, draw a horizontal line. Now you have four quads, or I say pieces of the pie. The circle of life, the pie of life. There's not enough of the pie for all of us. But in each of these quadrants, I want you to put what is right now the most important thing to you, whether it be family, whether it be travel, health, whether it be growing your business, whether it be going back to school, whether it be becoming debt free. What is it? And if you need to increase your slices of your life or your pie, draw other horizontal lines. I would say don't be too broad, because that's the way of the world, to be so noisy that everything is grappling after our attention, our identity. So let's start with the quadrant. What are those things? Now, how much money do you really need to fund those things? Or look at it this way: who or what do you want to build financially according to those quadrants? What financial legacy would you like to leave in terms of those quadrants? Let's go back to the original regarding what do you want? So if you attach the dollar figure to those of what you need, inevitably you're going to back into a budget, right? These are obviously things that you are passionate about. These are things that are aligned with your values. These are the most important things right now. And once you identify these things are going to help you slay your day. What I mean by that, it's going to keep you on point. It's going to help you with your priorities and your scheduling. You know, I do teach a class, Master Your Perfect Day. I also teach another class, Time is on Your Side. And I teach you how to own your day. Because the truth is, we can be busy doing a whole lot of nothing and feel like we've got nothing accomplished just because we are not clear on where we're going. So, what is your call to action? Are you ready to take back the ink pen and rewrite or write your next success story? Success belongs to those who are willing to take action and align their purpose with their values and push past the fear and the noise. You know, I want to share two keys to mental wellness, some things that I live by. And I'm going to give you two things to practical wellness. You know, what we see and what we meditate on, it shapes our reality. So renewing our mind daily, renew your mind daily. What you see every day in your mind shapes your reality. And align your actions with your values. I've said that over and over. True lasting peace and true success comes from living in alignment with a deeper purpose. Learn to say no. If we learn to say no, that means that we create healthy boundaries, and not just boundaries where we say, I got a hard stop, but to honor them. Honor those boundaries. Protect your energy. Honor your limits. Saying no creates space for what truly matters. Set healthy boundaries. Not every person deserves your time, your talent, your treasure, your energy, and your access. And creating those healthy boundaries helps safeguard that. I am the Roz Booker. I am your serial entrepreneur, your coach, your trainer, your lifestyle partner, your accountability partner, real estate mogul, your instructor for continuing education, professional development. I've taken the limits off. I have redefined my success that it's not just about the deals, but it's about destiny. I have a date with destiny, and I'm going to show up every day, and I'm going to be aligned with my values, which are aligned with my purpose. And as long as that brings me peace, that is the success that I want. If I can help you along your journey, you reach out to me. I put the information in this video. Let's customize a success plan for you. I'm going to have to go because I have to reteach this class at Texas Realtors. You make it a great day. Bye bye.